welcome back to this week's edition of WBJU's Trending. I'm Chelsea Moss.
And I'm Caitlin Unruh. This week we will be focusing on the international side of campus. The university is fairly well known outside of the U.S. Its reputation has attracted many students from around the world.
Currently, there are 48 countries represented in our student body. And as you can imagine, this creates a huge level of diversity. So many different cultures come together to create an inviting and Christ-like environment.
I think it's awesome that you don't even have to really travel outside of the United States or outside of our campus really to experience different cultures, whether that's a roommate from a different country or even going to the dining common where sometimes they focus on Greek food or Italian food for the whole meal, and I think that's a great opportunity.
Definitely. Right now I'm in a Spanish conversation class, and it's a great way to prepare for maybe a mission trip or just interacting with other cultures, and it's pretty cool to interact even with some of the students in there who are already native Spanish speakers and get that experience in.
Really, it really is a great opportunity to learn about other cultures. I can't even imagine going to another country for school where there's language barriers and just other different cultural differences. I think it's really brave of them to come over.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we get caught up in how hard our schoolwork is, but as English speakers, it's really not, as hard as we think compared to somebody whose native language is Spanish or French, and they're having to overcome that language barrier on top of the schoolwork. So it's a lot, that they have to go through and think through and whatever when they come here.
It's true. Well, for a closer look at some of the diversity on campus, we have Meredith Hamilton in the studio with our special guest. Meredith?
Thank you, Caitlin. Today we have Olivia Matthews with us. She is an international student from Australia, and she's going to be answering some questions about the culture there and her experiences transitioning to life on a college campus in the USA. Thanks so much for coming by, Olivia. It's really great to have you here today. So a couple days ago, I heard there was a holiday that Australians celebrate. Do you want to talk about that? Like, what is that? How do they celebrate it?
Well, it's called Australia Day, and I guess you could call it like the equivalent of America's 4th of July, Independence Day. It was when Australia was federated in 1901, I believe, and basically it's just a public holiday where you can have time off, spend time with friends.
Awesome.
Eat a lot of food.
Maybe I'll come visit you sometime and then we can celebrate it together.
That's a plan.
So, Olivia, you came here for school. Had you ever lived in the U.S. before, or was this pretty much like your first experience living stateside?
I had visited quite a few times with my family because my dad's a pastor, so he has a lot of friends here. But I'd never stayed here for longer than 2 months. So I guess I was familiar with the culture, but this is the longest time I've ever spent here. So that was a transition.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're going to move now into our timed trivia portion. The way that this works is I'm going to give some time to Olivia to answer as many questions as she can. You have 30 seconds. It's as rapid fire as we can go. You ready? All right, here we go. First question. Do you enjoy traveling?
I love traveling. That is my favorite thing to do.
How long is a one-way flight from Australia to South Carolina?
South Carolina with connecting flights could be anywhere between 20 to 30 hours.
What contributed to your decision to attend a Christian school in the U.S.?
I wanted to get out a little bit more and have a bit of adventure, and I wanted to be trained for ministry and meet new people.
How do the churches in the United States compare to the ones in Australia?
They're a lot bigger, a lot bigger than back home.
Yeah, definitely here in South Carolina we have a huge
exactly.
Christian.
You're lucky if you get 3 churches in a city back home.
Well, we are out of time, Olivia. 30 seconds goes by so quickly on this show. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to learn a little bit more about your culture, and we're really happy to have you here.
No worries.
We're going to turn it back to Caitlin and Chelsea in the studio to wrap up our student segment. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Meredith and Olivia. Well, it's certainly been fascinating to take a closer look at the diversity within the student body.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. For Trending, I'm Caitlin Unruh.
And I'm Chelsea Moss. Have a great weekend.